And welcome back to the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. Aaron Like joined here by head coach of the baseball team here at MSUB, Coach Rob Bishop. And our producer, Evan O'Kelly, has the camera focused on the 2015 GNAC Conference Tournament Champion Ball. And that's a special ball, Coach. Hopefully we don't lose that in transition. But talk about last year's team as Evan O'Kelly has the camera on that ball. How special that was, a moment for you and for the players, and then what you're looking to do this year.
Well, the stretch run last year, our guys joke a lot that we're on last year's team, that it all started with our bus breaking down on the way to NNU, and we took about 16 hours in a yellow school bus going 50 miles an hour, getting in at midnight and having a quick turnaround. And Brady Muller was out with an arm injury that weekend, our best guy on the mound, and we pitched great and won all four, and that really kind of just got us started on the right path, dealing with a little adversity. 120 out of our last 25 GNAC games, just a group of guys that really came together. We stayed healthy and we played really well. We won high-scoring games, low-scoring games, came from behind, won almost every can win. So just a team with a lot of character and a lot of fight. And, definitely a group of guys that set the bar really high for our program, and that's really what we want to continue. Just keep on with some momentum, and pride ourselves in being a team that we're never going to give up. We're going to play till the last out is made, regardless of the score, and just have confidence that if we do that, things will work out.
Yeah, absolutely, and continuing that momentum has started this season off to a 6-3 start, coming off a 4-game road sweep. Sweep's coming out early this year for you all. How important was that 4-game road sweep coming back to MSUB and now 6-3 in the season?
Well, in the early season before conference play, our whole goal is just to see our entire team, get a bunch of different lineups out there, a bunch of different guys out there, and really just, believe that whoever we put out there is good enough to win on any given day. And, our guys showed that. We played several different lineups, put some guys in different spots, and again, on the second day, we came from behind against a really good closer at their place, and that was a very good Metro team. I mean, we played extremely well, and at times it probably looked a little lopsided on the series, but that was a good team, a great experience for our guys. And I tell our guys all the time that good teams sweep doubleheaders, and good teams don't just win series; they dominate in series. So to finish that off was a really good start to our season.
Yeah, well, hopefully the season keeps going as planned. Since it is Senior Day, basically here in the campus store, we already had Luke on earlier with Jeff. Just have an opportunity for you to highlight the seniors on the team and what their role is going to be this year as you continue to work toward a great season and hopefully another GNAC conference champion.
Okay, Luke. Starting at center field, he's going to hit in the middle of our order like he did last year, and Luke's one of our leaders, and he's a 10 as a kid. I mean, works hard every day, regardless of how he feels. Always going to play, plays the game 100 miles an hour, and he's just a great example for our younger guys of how to go about your business. Prepares like a pro, so just a really good example of a guy. Obviously has a lot of talent, a lot of ability, but he's really developed that through just grinding and hard work. Guys on the pitching staff, we have Lee Busto, Tanner Johnson, Drew Christina, and Dylan Goldsack. All four will play a big role this year in the pitching staff. Lee and Dylan in the bullpen, and the other two in the rotation. I mean, just going to be key guys for us. I think one of the strengths of our team this year, even though we had such a good year last year and such a good group last year and graduated some great players, we have 7 or 8 guys that have a lot of experience having success. So, we're banking on the idea that experience matters. So those 4 guys are going to lead our pitching staff without question. In the infield, we have Coulter Sternhagen, who's been playing second base, Kyle Durbin at third base, and Corey Morris at short, and Kevin Toon at first. I don't know. The stars would have to align to have 4 seniors that are great players that are all playing and starting in your infield. Again, those guys are all talented guys, but it goes beyond the talent. I mean, it's the intangibles and the little things that they bring. Good teammates, good team guys that are gonna that are through thick and thin. When things are good, when things are bad, they're gonna show up every day and give their best effort. So it's difficult to quantify how important that experience is, and important that dealing with as much adversity as you do during the course of a season. You have to have those guys that are solid. So that's our team's built around those guys. We have a lot of other really good players that are coming through the program, but our team is definitely built around those veterans.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, I know every season's different. Every team has a different feel to it. Early on in the season, what are some things that you're seeing out of this team that maybe you didn't see last year on the team or in previous years that really excites you for the run that you guys are about to go on?
Well, I think it's probably the combination of youth and new guys that I feel like are good enough to compete in our league, and the veteran guys that are kind of pointing the way. And in some cases this last weekend, Zach Robinson, you might have looked at the numbers and said, hey, he might be your best guy, and then the next game it's Luke, and the next game it's Miles. I mean, Miles got a huge hit to win the game that we came from behind. Lee Busto had 4 appearances and was great in all 4, and really has stepped his game up. So Cody Cooper's been great twice as a junior, a guy that had ups and downs throughout last year. So I think the exciting thing is just the number of guys that I feel like we have that can really get it done. We've got some brand new freshmen that are really, they're good enough to be starting for us, but they're waiting in the wings a little bit because we have that veteran presence. So I guess my hope for the program is that we don't see big ups and downs, that we see consistency, and the young guys that are in the program now will jump right in after those seniors all graduate. And then next year, when you look around our outfield, you're going to see Casey and Miles and Zach, all 3 seniors out there. So we'll have the opposite thing. We'll have 3 seniors in the outfield. We'll be young in the infield, and hopefully we can just kind of keep that mix going, having enough guys that know how to play the game and know how to compete, that we can compete with anyone that we're playing.
Yeah, and Coach, I'm going to switch it just a little bit, going to specifically you and what you've been able to do as a head coach. So last year was pretty big for you. You hit over the 500 career win mark. Of course, you were at Miles Community College for 10 years, and then you also went over 100 wins as the MSUB head coach. A lot of coaches get into coaching and they're not successful, and could be a variety of reasons. But what are some things that you've had in the past and what you're doing on in the future that makes you so successful at that head coaching position?
Well, I think the first thing is having good players. And I'd love to say that there's some secret that we're using or that I'm using as a staff to make us better, but really at the end of it, it comes to just recruiting guys that have high character, that have a great work ethic, that obviously they also have talent, but I mean, the talent alone isn't the separator. It's what guys choose to do with it by how they go about their business every day. And I think in my 10 years at Miles, we definitely had a string of 5 or 6 years there where we just had such great leadership in the program, and the expectation was that we were going to come out and be successful on and off the field. And we graduated our guys, and we were able to send them on to the next level. And now, obviously our job here isn't to send them to a 4-year school. It's to, develop the guys, give them a chance to graduate, get their degree from here, and build that same sort of success. And I feel that in our culture that we are going to win every day, and I'm sure we're not going to win the championship every year for the next 50 years, even though I would love to say that. The key is that we're expecting to, and that we're trying to, and that we believe that we can. So, it really starts with good players. And then I think just, trying to be fair and honest and communicate with those guys of what we expect, and, treating them with respect. And I feel like, it's really that simple. I mean, each guy doesn't develop like we want them to, but, by just treating people well and giving them a good environment to develop, it gives us a really good chance to have guys continuing to have a good experience here and getting to experience, a good culture, a good environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And just some personal questions that I'd like to ask you. Being a baseball fan myself, what kind of mentors did you have growing up as a baseball fan and a player? Who did you look at, and favorite teams and kind of stuff like that?
Well, the I liked the Red Sox when the Red Sox were awful, and grew up only watching the Braves because that's all that was on in Montana was TBS.
Right.
So, and they were terrible,
Right.
throughout most of the 80s. They had a couple of championship seasons. So, I mean, I'm just a baseball nut, and even now, like, if I in my free time I'm at a Mustangs game or I'm at I'm watching the game, or I love watching MLB Network or listening to MLB Network and just the ins and outs of the game. So I think just trying to learn that way. But I had good coaches growing up. I was a grad assistant at South Dakota State, and that really, honestly, that was a Division II school at that time. And the head coach at that point was Mark Eklund, and that really got me in tune with what the D2 level is all about and what NCAA athletics is all about. And I got excited about it from that moment, and had a lot of coaches along the way that have helped me. Baseball coaches are different than coaches in other sports. Like, they're really willing to share everything. So, everything we use on the field and in practice, it's been borrowed from somewhere, and we sort of tweak it to maybe our style. But that's probably my biggest compliment that I could give to baseball coaches as a group, is that you can almost pick up the phone and talk to any coach in the country, unless they're in your league, right?
Right.
They will help. They want to help the game and help kids develop, and so I think just not being afraid to ask and not being afraid to try some different things. I mean, I surely have tried some things that didn't work well and figured that out quickly, and so just kind of just like anybody else, just adjust along the way, and take the things that I learned from coaches that I had as a player or as an assistant coach or as a young coach. And then the other thing is, like, I like to spend time around our other coaches. I feel like whether it's Casey, our brand new volleyball coach, or whether it's Jamie Stevens, or whether it's Kevin Wooden, like, I can learn something from any of those people. Maybe not about baseball, but how they run their program, how they, can you be more consistent than Kevin's been? I mean, man, they're good every single year. So, like, you can, if you want, I mean, the people are around to definitely learn from and to get better from.
Yeah. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you spending some time with us, taking some time out of your day to come in and talk about the team and about yourself. Any last-minute shout-outs you'd like to give? Anybody might be watching, or anything like that?
Well, I think probably just to our guys. I'm sure they're gonna. If I have been repetitive or anything, I'm gonna hear about it. They're gonna, So they will. They'll let me have it a little bit, but just how much I appreciate their effort, and it's awesome. I have the best job in America.
Yeah. Well, 2015 GNAC Coach of the Year, Rob Bishop, off to a 6-3 start, Coach. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure to stay tuned in